wanted the best? You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. There you go, lady. When the ladies and gentlemen, when the shrill lady sings it, that makes it official. You're on the Chris Voss Show. Welcome to the big show. As always, my friends and family. Be sure to refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Or, we might have to increase your taxes. I don't know what that means. I'm just making it up. Go to goodreads.com where it says Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com where it says Chris Voss. Not all the jokes are funny on the Chris Voss Show, folks. That's how comedy works. Go to youtube.com where it says Chris Voss and all those crazy places on the internet. Today we have an amazing young man. This is why we have great minds in the show, because clearly mine's gone and checked out, and people are like, yeah, it left about 15 years ago out of the 16 years he's been doing it. Hector Alvarado is a Canadian entrepreneur, operations strategist, multi-family real estate investor, and the co-founder of Optimize Business Systems, which he built alongside his business partner, Willie Smith. With 27 years of experience leading large-scale operations for Fortune 500 companies and then turning a company losing $1 million per quarter into a $35 million success story, that's a great story. Hector has been known for transforming business chaos into clarity through systems, accountability, and leadership structure. He's a proud father of 3, has been married for 17 years, grounding his drive with strong family values. Outside the boardroom, he's a committed gym goer and lifelong fitness enthusiast, bringing the same principles that shape his training in the way he leads: discipline, consistency, form, and reps. If it works in the gym, Hector knows it works in business. I couldn't agree with him more. Discipline, that's really what it is about. When you go to the gym, you're competing with yourself. When you go in business, you're competing with yourself. And a lot of other people too, actually, in business. As a multifamily real estate investor, he practices what he teaches: building long-term wealth, diversifying income streams, and using systems to create freedom from both outside and inside the business world. Welcome to the show, Hector. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Chris, for having me. I'm excited for this meeting.
Thanks for coming, eh? We're just happy to have our favorite Canadians on the show.
Love it. You got to represent Canada, right?
Right. That's not. I'm thinking of sorry.
Sorry, eh? That's right.
I love my Canadian friends. They're the nicest people in the world. So give us .coms. Where do you want people to get to know you better on the interweb?
Yeah, we're at optimizebusinesssystems.com. You can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, through looking up Optimize Business Systems. We're also on Spotify and Apple Music on our podcast, weekly podcast there.
What's the name of your weekly podcast so we're going to plug in for that?
Yeah, we're the Inner Circle.
The
Inner Circle podcast.
There you go. The Inner Circle podcast. So give us a 30,000 overview what you guys do there at OBS.
Yeah, at OBS, what our vision and our really reason for being is that we've created a safe space for entrepreneurs and business unit leaders to come share their issues and have that platform to where they can be heard without being criticized, where they can have access to tools, real life tools that will help, once implemented, get all that frustration outside, get them to see clarity again and allow them to have structure in their business, right? What we found is with so many entrepreneurs that are struggling with the day-to-day, they go to business with a vision and they are excited. They're super geared up to go and take this venture, this deep dive of the business world, but then it sucks you in. And it gets rough. It gets rough real fast, right? You have people issues, you have, cash flow issues, you have customer issues and all that stuff that, isn't so cool and isn't so fun and is draining and it freaking sucks, right? But here's the thing is a lot of these entrepreneurs and leaders, they don't have an outlet and they go to their spouse or they go to the bottle and that's where they can vent. But with our community, we have the opportunity to vent without being judged, to have
Mhm.
realignment and clarity, and the tools to get you going, to get you re-engaged and re-excited about your business, because we get you winning again.
Get me winning again. I like that
That's
winning
right.
part. That's my favorite part, the winning part. You bring up a good point. One of the problems I used to have when I came up in the '90s, being an entrepreneur, was there was no one to turn to. I mean,
Mhm.
about the only person you could turn to if you wanted business advice and help was to pay for an attorney or a retainer, which is
Right?
quite expensive when you're doing a startup. I mean, our first company was $2,000. We turned into a multi-millionaire company, and the year and a half later, $4,000, we turned into a multi-millionaire company. But there was nobody. There was not a lot of people to help us. And
Yeah.
if you, like I say, if you want an attorney, you could do that. I tried to get other entrepreneurs to join up, but we didn't quite have the internet fully turned on by that point, or no, I don't think we had computers quite yet. We were starting to use the laptop for invoices, and but there just wasn't this community like you guys have built here.
Mhm.
And one of the problems you have as an entrepreneur, or uh, wannabe entrepreneurs have this problem, especially, is they ask people who've never been an entrepreneur, or they talk about their dreams, right? Like, oh, I
Yeah.
want to go start my own company, and then everybody weighs in, all the hoo ha, boo hoo, oh yeah, Bob started a business and he went bankrupt, so it'll probably happen to you. You should not do that.
Right?
That kind of negative Nancy stuff. And so having a community like the one you've talked about, where you can have resources, you can talk to like-minded individuals, especially probably successful ones, and get their toolkits, is invaluable, probably.
It is. It is, because what we believe that we have here is that safe space where people can just be open and honest about their learning experience and their building experience.
Hmm.
They can come to you and say, like, my margins suck and I don't know why, right?
Hmm.
Because here's the truth, is like, most entrepreneurs, you ask them, you meet entrepreneurs every day and you're like, "Hey, how's your business?" "Oh, it's fine. It's great. Business is good." Right? But they're just masking it, because they're not the ones that are going to tell you, "Man, my team sucks. It's underperforming. Like, my profits tanking." Like, they're not telling you that, right?
Yeah.
They're not telling you my business is running me instead of me running the business, or I feel overwhelmed. Like, that stuff never comes out. It's always, "It's fine. It's great." Right?
Yeah.
And that's where we think, and we know, because we've lived it. Like, Willie and
Hmm.
I have been there. We've tested these tools, we lived it ourselves, and we know how to create the frameworks that will help these entrepreneurs overcome these challenges, while giving them the space and the forum to
Hmm.
to be open about it and just say, "Hey, let's air it out, let's talk through it," and then we get them back on track.
There you go. And
Yeah.
so looking across the website, there's a lot of cool features you have here. You have the inner circle.
Right.
And have we fleshed out what that is and what that does enough, or do we need to bring more clarity to it?
I just want to make sure that, that what we really communicate out there about the inner circle, and that makes the tie-in and resonates with people, is about our core values.
Mm.
Because it's important that people understand, who are we, what do we do here, what are we here to serve, right?
Hmm.
And so we want to understand that, we want to make sure people get that our core values are about, first and foremost, we lift people up. Right?
Mm.
Like, leadership is about raising others, and that's why the community was built. It's that form of taking others with you, right? And that we want to talk about, that experience matters. What we bring to the table is not theory. We
Hmm.
don't like that BS. This is real world stuff. This is real world solutions. And that we want to maintain positivity under pressure, because, as we recognize, a lot of people under pressure, they just go bunker in. They don't really talk through it. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, that's when a lot of entrepreneurs and businesses fail, because they just go inside. They don't look for those solutions, right? So,
Hmm.
positive under pressure, we stay grounded, and we teach others to do the same. And
Hmm.
then, most importantly for us at the Inner Circle and at OBS, is that we want legacy through leadership. We want to build leaders of the future. And that's what our main goal is, through really communicating our core values.
There you go. And is it like an accountability group? It maybe keeps me on track with, maybe performance or advice, or some sort of way where people are like, "Hey, how'd that work out, Bob, with the thing you're doing there?"
You nailed it. It is exactly that. It is that. It is completely that, where we will have, and we have the forum where, we give assignments at the end of our podcast and we say, hey, here's your takeaway next week. We talk about it. We put some people on the hot spot and we say, hey, Bob, how was that takeaway? Did you complete it last week? And then sometimes it gets a little hot because they're like, shit, I didn't complete it.
Well, that's the importance of accountability group. You really get things done. And the other thing is too, when you see other people succeeding and doing things, it opens up that possibility in your head where you go, wait, okay, maybe my family over here is negative Nancy. They're telling me, oh, you can't do it. Oh, you can't, you're never going to make it. But I've got this whole group of guys that have made it and they know what they're doing.
Yes.
And that motivates me. I don't know that I would ever start a business if I didn't know what a business. I don't know if I'd ever written a book if I didn't know people wrote books. But seeing that there's people that can do it, that's one of the things we love about the show. People bring their stories, their cathartic moments, how they survived. Seeing talking to other entrepreneurs, finding out how, oh, I failed too, and here's how I recovered, or my numbers weren't working. Maybe I was bleeding out in some part of my business, was bleeding out revenue or profits or costs, and I figured out how to fix that and innovate that.
Right.
Seeing what's possible really helps. And of course, you kind of create this sort of clique or this peer group. That's the word I'm looking for, where you kind of feel a little peer pressure to excel.
Yes, absolutely. Right. And it's about that the ability to learn from the applicable tools, get the output, perform, and talk about how it worked, so that the others now learn best practices as well as pitfalls, right? Because that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that everybody is taking a key learning every single week.
Yeah. The other thing is in business, because people might say, like, one thing people might say in pushing back is they might say, well, I have a certain business and I don't know the people in the group are in this business, or, they're in different industries or fields. The one thing about business is once you kind of know how to do it, it's the same toolbox. Whether it's a widget that's a service or widget that's a product, or a piece of steel, or a piece of a coaching manual or coaching workshop or something,
Yeah.
it's still a widget. And the process of business, the business of business, can you call it that?
Yeah.
What do you do, Chris? I'm involved in the business of business. Anyway, I think I start a new podcast, a new shirt. But the process of it is pretty routine. Like I've created so many companies, I could do it in my sleep. Like
Yeah.
I can do it all in my sleep. Like the hardest part about me for starting a company is just coming up with the right name, partially because most of the good ones aren't available, but also just coming up with the right name. And that's really the hardest thing I have in starting a company half the time. I've been down in front of the Department of Corporations a million times going, you better come up with a name for me to put on this form, people, or else I'm just making some shit up here and handing it in, which I did one time. And 30
And that's
days
where
later,
AI now comes along and helps us with some of
yeah,
those gaps, eh?
yeah, yeah. You're just like, I've done that a lot. I've had companies where, like, I have everything done. I just need a name to put on the stupid form for the
Right.
government, and we got to come up with a name, and everyone's just like, what? But everything, and so
Yeah.
that's one of the beauties of having a group like yours.
It is. It is. And what we have in that, and you touched on it, was that the repeatable learnings that you take away from certain industries and certain businesses, you can certainly apply those into many. And that's where we bring a framework. And that framework works with any organization, any service, any product type, because it is a framework. It's an operating system that we're able to help implement and teach to others, that they can self-implement as well into their companies. And it gives them clarity on their core value structure, their purpose, their niche, right? Their reason for being. And ultimately, what are those goals? What are they trying to achieve? And so that there is alignment between what the vision is and to what the people who have to go get it done have to be aligned, and they see it together. And so we create that framework that allows the organization to be healthy for the long term, and really to allow it to scale in a healthy way.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you can sit around and you can muck about and try and figure out stuff. I mean, I had to do it when we were cheap and starting a company with $2,000 and top ramen. And we were working 18-hour days in cars doing deliveries. Uh you can, but there's a certain point where investing in yourself and investing in other people, I would have killed
Right.
to have this sort of stuff we have on the internet where I could join a group like yours and I could get I could just peel back up minds. I had a pretty innovative mind and being able to see out the box. Obviously, I got somewhere from there to here.
Yeah.
But the decisions that I made that I thought were right that were completely wrong, I would have loved to have gotten consultation on, because they almost the bad decisions almost bankrupted me, and the good decisions made me rich. And fortunately, I did one more good decision than I did one more bad decision. So
That's the beauty about it, eh? No, it's great because that's what we believe our community does, right? Is it allows for that learning curve to really be reduced because we have the tools, right? We have
mhm,
those tested frameworks that we share, we mentor the
mhm,
the participants on it, because we really have a differential around coaching to mentorship. Our approach is mentorship,
mhm.
where we believe like our pitfalls that we went through, we can teach others to avoid doing those things so they don't have to go through the pain that we went through.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't matter what the widget is.
Yeah.
You could be in the restaurant business and my business, and then you'd be like, oh, what do you do? What's your pain point? Oh, my pain point is marketing. We're not getting enough people in the door. Well,
Yes.
Steve, what are you doing? And so you can help people, and it helps get through those things.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
Looks like there's some key characteristics of the group: experience level, where you can hobnob with other professionals, pain points, goals and aspirations. That's like I talked about earlier, where you hang out with like-minded people. Oh, there's
Yeah.
one plug to that I should do. I'm a big believer in this. If I ever get told I'm wrong, I'll probably be heartbroken, like it was a religion,
Oh no.
or Santa Claus maybe, or the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer in the 5 or 6 people you surround yourself with,
Yes.
you become.
Absolutely.
And if you're not surrounding yourself with 5 or 6 good entrepreneurs, as an entrepreneur, you know, uh, I mean, roll the dice, I suppose. I don't know,
No,
but
you hit it. And that's
yeah,
exactly it, right? Like I was always of the mindset that if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I got to get into a new room.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because because you're not scaling, you're not learning, right? And
Hmm.
so our community offers that opportunity to learn and grow.
Hmm.
You're in a room with people that may be facing the same issues as you, or maybe learned already from them, but you're there to learn from each other's experience and skill set and trials and tribulations. And of course, we are there to facilitate those conversations and bring you the tools that'll help you get that alignment and get you, like I said earlier, like get those wins, because we know what it goes through. We know how painful it can be to not be able to make your pay run, right? Like that sucks.
Not making your payroll sucks.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So you go over demographics and mindset. Mindset's a big important part of being an entrepreneur.
it is.
You the challenge, one of the challenges of being an entrepreneur is you live it 24/7. I mean,
You're right.
I used to have dreams every night of what I was going to do the next day, my meetings, who I was going to fire.
Oh,
I would, it was just, it was relentless, to the point that I was just like, please, can I just think of Bo Derek on the beach, running down the beach, that famous bikini shot. Can I just get a girl for a change in these dreams? And it was just every night was business, and you just live it. I mean, morning, noon, and night. There is no 5 o'clock checkout when you
no,
own a company.
no.
And so having the right mindset is real important.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's having that mindset and being coachable, being adaptable, and that's
Mhm.
all part of that community, right? It's where you can come in and like I've said, like you can learn from others, but it's not just about being coachable. It's also about being open to feedback.
Mhm.
A lot of us entrepreneurs and business leaders, we are very prideful, and unfortunately that pride sometimes creates bottlenecks and roadblocks within our businesses. So having a forum to where you can be vulnerable, that changes the game a little bit, because it allows you to understand your weaknesses and maybe what is holding your business back. And so
Mhm.
that to me was really important, that Willie and I, and the team that we have, that we were able to establish that with the community.
Mhm. And sometimes it just takes that one thing. I mean, sometimes you can have it's like I always equate it to being like a safe. You're
Yes.
trying to crack, and you're trying to crack that best operating system where you've got the good best ROI and yada yada yada. And
Yeah.
sometimes you're just dialing it. I mean, I've had companies where I'm trying to get them profitable, I'm trying to get them to work, and I'm just flipping that dial, man. And I've come up to within a week of like, okay, we're giving up at the end of this week. We've tried this, we've sunk a bunch of money into it, and you just keep hitting that dial, and boom, somehow you hit that magic formula. The lights go on, and you're like, damn, we found it. And when you do, like everything, it's like the machine starts running, and you're like, yeah, it's gonna work.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about like what we've done, because as you're talking about like finding the dial and turning that knob and hoping you click, well, we just look to our Rolodex of already true tested tools, and we're like, oh yeah, we've seen that problem before. Here it is.
Mm,
Let's try this one because we did it before, right? And so that's sort of the methodology of what our toolbox brings, to from a value perspective to our members.
hmm There you go. Now I see there's an ebook offering on your website. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. That's still
Okay.
under development.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I'm gonna click it and then say, man,
See
I
what
got
happens.
something. Yeah, there you go. The doers wake up call. So now there was two different, I believe, communities that you have on your
Yes,
website. We talked about pre-show. Tell us
that's right.
about both those.
Yeah, certainly. So the Inner Circle community is our current platform where those entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, and business unit leaders can come in. They can have that safe space. They can learn through tested tools, and then we have what we're just launching. We're super excited to launch this in a couple weeks. It goes live, and this is the Compass Framework community. And what
Mhm.
the Compass is that this is the structure. This is the ability to go plug and play business out of a box that you can say, here's how I'm going to operate my business. It's your operating system
Mm,
for your business, and we are able to help you create your vision, your long-term goals, and the culture that really will help you run and operate your business. And so we have the different pillars that
mhm.
that will establish the success for that community, and that's what we're excited to launch with the Compass Group.
There you go. There you go. And so people can get all sorts of help. Now, who's the target audience for this? Is it people all around the world? I know you guys are kind of in Canada, but or Canada? What the hell?
Canada.
Canada?
Yeah,
You've just been
yeah,
renamed. You're now the 51st state. It's
yeah,
2025.
yeah. Oh,
Listen,
that's a hot topic here now.
isn't it? We love Canadians. Screw whatever's going in politics. So it's 2025, people. You're watching this 20 years from now on the YouTube channel, like you do, and don't write me.
Right.
We've been on YouTube for 18 years, and they do stuff
Nice.
like
Wow.
we've reviewed, like, I don't know, all the early iPhones, and to this day they will still put comments on there like, this iPhone 2 isn't $500 anymore. It's like, did you look at the date of the video? Anyway.
Love
Uh,
it.
so there you go.
Yeah,
And so they can tap into your knowledge, they can tap into other people's knowledge. And I guess I didn't
absolutely.
finish my question. I kind of segue there, didn't I? Tell us about, who's the best people. Is there a minimum maybe you need to have a net worth? Who are
Yeah.
the people who are eligible for this?
Yeah, great. It's a great question. So our target, audience is really that entrepreneur in or business that is around or less than $10 million in revenue. So
Mm,
from a startup to up to about $10 million, and anywhere from I would say 75 employees or less
mm,
is really where we believe our sweet spot is,
mm,
because these are the type of organizations that are starting up and are facing those challenges of the startup world, and or are just about ready where they're ready to scale, and they're not quite sure how to scale past those limitations that they've come. They've gone from 1 million and they've increased, but now they recognize once they're going to go into that double digit $1 million world, it comes with a lot of investment, a lot of
Mhm.
challenges, and some complexities that they may not be ready for. And so having the framework in place that's going to allow them to scale is where I believe we add the most value.
There you go. Christopher Vogman writes into the show. I agree about showing up in a room of great people and being a sponge.
Yeah, love it. Love it. And
Doesn't-
that's amazing, Chris, that you see that, because it's all about, being a sponge and being able to absorb, some of those learnings and applying them. What,
Mhm.
the key component after being a sponge is go apply the learnings, right? Go apply them so that you can start winning.
There you go. Christopher's really on one today. My wife and I are both entrepreneurs. She puts me to shame in her resilience. Don't let her do that. Beat her at her own game. And I always love a good North Star compass pointing me in the right direction. Why
Love it.
invent the wheel? Reinvent the wheel,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's exactly it, right?
Even
And that's
I think
that.
we got support here for the 51st state there, Hector.
Yeah, I see that. I
You have
see it.
to
I love it.
look at
Oh,
us.
we're in Alberta, so you got the toughest province in Canada, so we don't know yet if we'll.
Oh yeah, yeah. We don't want to fight the Albertans. I think we do a movie on that with John Candy, the famous comedian, Second City comedian from Canada. Wasn't there a war with Canada or something? There's some movie about that, some
Oh,
goofy comedy or something.
yeah, yeah. Oh, the
So,
the
yeah.
the, the, the War of the 18. What was it that I,
I
I
know,
know?
I
I
know
know
there
it
was
was war.
1812 where you guys came and burned our White House. We're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
evidently we're still sore about that. That must be what the 51st state.
Maybe.
Too soon, my friend.
No
There
doubt.
you go. So
Yeah.
what were some of your influences? How did you become an entrepreneur? Where'd you get the bug from, and what influenced you growing up?
Yeah, I took a very weird route to entrepreneurship. I actually took the safe route where I
Hmm.
became really good at being the operator, or the second right person to the entrepreneur, and that's where I learned. I learned through corporate boardrooms and corporate practices,
Hmm.
and then after I was able to become really good at that, I then ventured on into softly becoming an entrepreneur. My first real ad, it was with Willie Schmidt, where he had this trucking outfit in northern Alberta that was just losing tons of money. Right, it was really struggling, and I had an opportunity to go in there and gain some share equity through my own sweat equity, going in and helping fix the organization. And when we exited that business, it gave me the opportunity to take some of that money and then go and invest it into my own businesses
Oh,
and my own real estate portfolio.
yeah. Sometimes you need that training. I had that training where I was an entrepreneur at my final company. I still work for them, but they called me an entrepreneur, and so I'd
Yes.
be able to walk around kind of like the CEO. I had a carte blanche and
Yeah.
could do innovative changes, and that was kind of the last of my entrepreneurial training that I needed. And also to work directly with the CEO really helped. That really helped.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I learned, I came up through the rankings of the PepsiCo golden years, where we learned efficiency and lean Six Sigma to the core, and really team development at the heart of it. And so I took all of those practices and have taken them off and put them into place for my own entrepreneur ventures.
Hmm. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. And people becoming entrepreneurs, there's so much greatness in it. I mean, you grow as a person. You're going to definitely become self accountable. That's for sure.
That is for sure, right? And
Yeah.
that's where, like, having the repetition mindset is critical so that you can continue to stay focused and on the right path.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's so critical. And having the advice, like I said, not reinventing the wheel, because the worst thing you can do in business is reinvent the wheel or try to reinvent the wheel. And sometimes the wheel can't really be invented. I
Yeah.
mean, I that was one of the things I learned from my last CEO I worked for. He sent me out one day door knocking to try and sell the product I had offered, and we did it by mail and telemarketing. But he's like, I want you to go door to door and spend the day going door to door. I'm like, what? He goes, you get paid for it, go do it. I'm like, seriously? And he goes, because if there's any way you can make this work, it'd be you. So he really believed in me.
Nice.
And I remember I went and spent a whole day wearing a hole in some very expensive leather shoes and knocking on a door in a suit
Wow.
that made me look like, I don't know, a billionaire Mormon knocking on the door. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior? And so anyway, it was a horrible day. And I came back beaten down, worn down from walking all our neighborhoods in this suit and wearing a hole in my. And it's nothing worse than when you're doing door to door and you got to walk back to your car with a hole in your shoe.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and they were expensive too. I was really pissed.
No.
So I get back to the office and I said to him, I go, yeah. I had like, I mean, people were just like, "What the fuck is going on our front door? We're not opening that for nothing." I mean, if that guy looks like a serial killer in a suit, this must be the new scam or something, you know.
Yeah.
And no one would. I think I had three people open the door, and no one would open it for me. And so I said to him, I go, yeah, total bomb. Only three people opened the door. So I couldn't even, pitch people. If you can't pitch people, you can't sell.
Yeah.
And I mean, the only other option I have was to break in their house.
No,
The cop says I can't do that anymore.
no kidding.
So I get one of my 6 ankle bracelets off next week. Anyway, I just clank when I walk. It's kind of cool, and I can't bathe. So anyway, callback jokes in the show. He said to me something in passing as I was walking in the room. He goes, well, I guess it still doesn't work. And I was at the door leaving, and my brain went, what the fuck did he just say? And I turned around and I go, what did you just say? It still doesn't work? And he goes, yeah, we tried this 2 or 3 years ago, and then some few years before that, and it bombed horrendously. We wanted to see that it still didn't work.
Wow.
And I asked him, I go, what the fuck? You sent me out, you ruined a great pair of shoes and worked my ass off, and you knew it wasn't going to work. He goes, Chris, I believe in you. If there was one guy who I thought could make it work, it would be you. But you can't even make people open the door. That's fine. He goes, so we checked to make sure it still doesn't work. There are times where technology or markets change where something doesn't work and then suddenly it will work. And he goes, and you just confirmed it for us. And so he taught me what I call the crazy Ivan. It's taken from the Hunt for Red October, where sometimes it's good to turn the ship around and check your six.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see if you're operating in reality or whatever. But at first it took me a while to get over being pissed at him. I might still be pissed, but it was a great lesson because, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes you try and invent the widget and the widget just doesn't need to be invented.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just needs to be innovated or modified. Like I remember when I used to look at paper clips and be like, somebody's got that paperclip thing down. I mean, there's just no way to make this invention any better. And then I started seeing at Staples and stuff, all these different ridged paper clips, and then painted paper clips, all sorts of different colors, polka dot paper, and then there was like somebody invented this weird plastic thing that is better than a paper clip. And and so there's always ways to improve, but sometimes the improvement isn't making a new widget, it's just innovating it.
It's innovative, tweaking it, right? It's finding what is relatable now, right? And and again, I tie it back to having the forum of where you could do that in that safe space, right? You were made to go walk.
You could have said some shoes if I was in your forum.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. That owner or unit leader could have gone into the forum and been like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this. Anybody else try it lately?" And may have saved your shoes and your feet, but
yeah. That or one of the other guys could be like, yeah, he's just setting you up, man. He's just playing you. Just lie and say it didn't work because it's not going to work. Save your shoes.
Exactly.
But no, I mean, a lot of people do that. One of the things we used to do when we got really successful was we would loan out money and we'd put up ads in the paper to give loans to businesses that were struggling. And of course, we used them to cherry pick what we wanted and see if it would fold in our empire of companies. And it was just amazing what people would give you. I mean, they just send over their P&Ls and everything else no one ever send you, right?
Right.
And they tell you all their horror stories. But a lot of times it was 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, it was a guy who had started a company either with some money, so he'd burn through it, and his ideas still weren't working, or maybe they got it to work for a month or two or a short while before the market changed or whatever. They misstyled the combo and suddenly it didn't work anymore. But they would ride it into the wall. And by the time they would be reaching me, they would be within a few months of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And so I would go there and I'd be like, well, here, I'll give you a first right of refusal. So that means you need to contact me first when you're ready to sell this. And here's my offer now. And usually it was mostly walking money because
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to fire your whole family who's working here, and I'm gonna have to fire
Uh,
you.
yeah.
And they're like, why? Oh, well, because you're the problem.
Yes.
You need to go back to McDonald's and learn how to be an entrepreneur or join your group. Um, and I'd be like, don't call me a week before bankruptcy. I can't save you. I can save you now,
Yes.
but I can't save you a week before bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And they would get gas from the fact that I was interested in, because they're like, well, I have some value here. He must see something that I don't see. And I'd be like, no, that's not it. We've got other companies. So, sometimes we just wanted people's furniture. We're just
Yeah.
like, they were cash poor and they had great furniture or maybe a great office building. And we're like, we just want that. And then we'll put one of our other companies there. So it was a fold in.
Right. Right.
And, but they just wouldn't see it. And they would always call me, when? A week before bankruptcy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you want to do that? But just a perfect example of how they would ride trying to make the wrong widget work, or trying to make a good widget work in the wrong way, right
Yeah.
into the wall.
Absolutely. And I can relate to that specific story because I just had an organization that we were working with that was in the same boat. So
Mhm,
similar concept in that, they kept trying to scale their business, but they were going about it the wrong way, and they were just so top heavy,
mhm,
right? The fact that they wanted to carry all this overhead forced them to take loan after loan after loan after loan.
uh-huh,
All of a sudden, they're like $1 million in debt, right?
mm,
Carrying like $50,000 a month in debt servicing to survive. They have to have revenues that are exceeding what the output really is required, right? And so we go into it and we're hearing them out and we look at their peanuts and we say, well, we know what the problem is. Look at your overhead. Like
yeah,
you gotta do some tough decision making and you gotta get rid of these roles because
mm,
number one, they're killing you. They're absorbing, your actual profitability. And number two, your business doesn't need them anymore. They served as a function maybe when you were starting out, but you're now leveraging technology into the business. So you don't need those roles anymore. Let's make the smart decision. And so, through conversations and through some, coaching and mentorship, we were able to get them there. And the success stories that, they were able to get rid of that overhead cost, pay down their debt burden, and then be able to make payroll again and now have
mhm.
some profitability because they were literally getting payday loans just so that they can pay their
Oh
people.
my gosh, and the
Yeah.
interest on those things,
Oh, it's horrible. It was
it's
crazy. It was
horrible.
crazy.
I think I had someone on the show, or I had a friend who either owned one of those big chains in Vegas, or knew someone, and they told me about the interest rates. I mean, you're better borrow money from the mob.
Well,
At least they only break your legs.
yeah, or take your business.
Take your business, yeah, burn it down. There you go. So as we go out, give people a final pitch out on how they can onboard with you, how they can get
Yeah.
to know you guys better, and maybe ask questions or get familiar with the everything that's going on there. And I think, isn't there a trial period?
There is, yeah. There's a 14-day free trial. If you click the link at optimizedbusinesssystems.com, you can go in there. You'll see the landing page. It'll take you to our community free trial, and it gives you access to our tools, gives you access to the community. We have a mobile app for Apple users, and the Android devices are coming out soon. And then you're able to interact while you're mobile, like any social app that you have out there.
Mhm.
And then you also partake in our weekly Zoom calls where we
Oh,
discuss issues and we have live tutorials. We do that. We actually just wrapped up before this call. We had ours this week. Do it every
mhm.
Thursday night at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, right? So,
Ah, there you go. There
yeah,
you go.
yeah,
Well, this has been fun, and entrepreneurs should definitely do it. I mean, having someone who has the blueprint you need or the toolkit you need to fix a problem, instead of hunting around trying 50 different versions, spending months or weeks burning through money.
yeah,
You gotta pay attention to that burn rate. That burn rate will
exactly.
eat you alive.
We got the shortcuts for you. Like
There you go.
don't go out there. We got the cheat codes. Come
The cheat
listen.
codes. I like
That's
that.
it. That's it. This is what we got. We have the cheat codes.
Cheat codes in the business of business. There you
That's
go.
it. You
Well,
got
thank
it.
you very much, Hector, for coming on. It was wonderful to have you. Tell everybody in Canada we love them, And yeah, it's a wonderful place up there. I miss Second City. You guys put out some of the best comedians in the world. And of course we steal them and hijack them down here.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it.
You're like,
Chris. This was
why
great.
does everyone leave Canada and go to the U.S.? Like, you
cold.
started here.
It's cold.
Well, it is cold. There's too many moose, and
That's it.
Quebec is always trying to get away for some reason. I don't know.
They know. I know. It's a amazing country with a lot of funny things.
Yeah, and a lot of good people.
Yeah,
So there you
amazing
go.
people.
There you go. Give us the .com one last time as we go.
Yeah, optimizebusinesssystems.com. And again, you can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, all the social media platforms. And again, we have the Inner City podcast on Spotify and on Apple Music. Love to have you join our community and again, be part of that locker room and safe space for business owners, entrepreneurs, and business unit leaders.
There you go. Thanks for plugging the thing there, Christopher. He's helping us out, get the word
I
out
love
on the,
it. Thank
on
you.
the website. So there you
Yeah,
go.
appreciate it.
Thanks everyone for coming on the show and listening. We certainly appreciate you. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and some other Chris Voss place. I don't know. Just look him up, man. The Chris Voss Show. You can't miss it. Go to all those great places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. Brain